And that breaking news, we are getting our first look at the 14-year-old boy killed in that mass shooting in Stockton. His family tells us his name was Amari Peterson. He is one of the 3 children who died after a gunman opened fire at a birthday party. And police still searching for the suspect or suspects.
We are now seeing a picture of one of the victims killed, 21-year-old Susano Archuleta. Today, his family held a service to remember him. And here is what we know right now. As we mentioned, 4 people killed, 11 others shot. Among the dead are 3 children, ages 8, 9, and 14, in addition to the 21-year-old.
An urgent search for the suspect police say fired at a group celebrating a birthday in Stockton, California over the weekend. 4 people killed, including 3 children. 11 others were injured. And senior correspondent Claudia Cowan is live in Sausalito, about an hour west of where that shooting took place. Good morning, Claudia.
Good morning, Dana. That's right, 4 dead, but that number could rise because we're told at least one of the other shooting victims is in critical condition, fighting for their life. Authorities say they're looking for 1, maybe 2 or more people who opened fire at a child's birthday party Saturday night in Stockton, California. That's about 50 miles south of Sacramento. Happened at a banquet hall in a busy part of town just before 6 p.m. and the place was packed. More than 100 guests were there. 15 people were shot, and the 4 who were killed were young, just 8, 9, 14, and 21 years old. Neighbors say the gunfire seemed to last a full minute, followed by screaming and calls for help. The sheriff says it was a targeted attack, but wouldn't confirm whether the violence was gang-related or speculate on a motive. He said several guns were found on the roof of the banquet hall, but it's unclear if that included the murder weapon. The sheriff is asking for the public's help to catch the, quote, animals who opened fire on children.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about a tragic story out of Stockton, California. That, unfortunately, is an example of what happens under Democrat governance, or put it this way, under gang governance, because California is run by gangs. Democrats allow their state and these liberal cities to be run by gangs because look who's running these cities. Like, for example, in Stockton, California, you have a Hollywood blogger by the name of Jason Lee, who is vice mayor of the city, okay? And this is his reaction to the gang shooting that took place at a house party for children, in which you had multiple kids, teenagers, and 1 adult who were shot and killed during this party after, again, what a lot of people are now calling a gang-related shooting. Take a look.
It's never been gangster to kill kids. Never. It's never been gangster to kill kids. You went in a birthday party and shot people's children. So I know we're here. We want, just, if I could just, parents brought their children out and they left with medical examiners. That is not human. That is not human. And I will say to those who are thinking of retaliation, when my brother got murdered, I thought about it too. It's human to want to hurt people who hurt people you love. But I had a choice to make, and I hope that the people out there in our community make the right choice and contact law enforcement, call me, call the mayor, call whoever you know, call the pastors, call your friend, turn yourself in. Because at some point, the redemption for what you did is gonna happen when you see the person that created you. But you can start that process by turning yourself in and doing the right thing today.
Tonight, an active manhunt underway in California after authorities believe multiple shooters opened fire at a child's birthday party in Stockton, 40 miles south of Sacramento. 15 people were hit by those bullets, 4 people killed. That includes 3 children. News Nation's Jorge Ventura live at the scene with the latest. Jorge, authorities believe this could actually be a targeted shooting. What's the latest that you're learning at this hour?
Yeah, that's right, Alex. Right now, I'm at the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office. About an hour ago, the sheriff just wrapped up an interview providing us some of the latest updates. As you just mentioned, Alex, News Nation was the first to report that 15 people were injured in yesterday's shooting. 4 confirmed dead. As you mentioned, 3 were children. Upon arriving at the scene today, Alex, it was still very active, closed off. We saw multiple law enforcement agencies arriving, including the FBI and the ATF. We did notice several vehicles being towed. We'll have to wait wait to see if those vehicles are of any interest or at least going to be providing some key details in this investigation. But it was a very somber mood in Stockton today. We noticed several prayer vigils and groups of residents all gathering together, saying prayers, just wanting to be there for each other, not understanding why this violent incident happened, this mass shooting. But authorities do say that right now there is still inactive manhunt, and now the sheriff does believe there was multiple shooters. Upon arriving at the scene, Alex, I did speak with a resident who lived about a block away from the shooting. He said that he heard 20 rounds of gunfire, and when he stepped outside, he noticed several parents arriving on the scene looking very frantic, asking for their children. Take a listen.
And what I saw were a lot of people scattering, running, shouting, screaming, crying. Then I saw a few cars pull up, some parents coming up and being very, very upset, crying, asking where their kids are. So it was a kid's birthday party. It sounded like some of the parents had dropped maybe their kids off or relatives or whatever, and maybe they're going to come back and pick them up. I don't know. And they came back to this. It was the mass shooting.
The sheriff also emphasizing that the shooting was not an accident, that it was targeted.
All I can say is that I'm sorry to all the mothers and children out there. If I could do anything to prevent this, I would. I threw a birthday party for my little daughter. She actually turned 2, and I just wanted all my family to come together and be together as it would be like an incident happened. Has me getting ready to start my baby, to start cutting her cake and stuff. Everybody's getting ready to gather around and just start cutting the cake, and all we heard was gunshots. And everybody just fell to the ground. It was just unexpected. I don't know what happened. I'm just so shocked and lost, and I'm lost of words. I'm speechless.
He came in, I turned my back and I looked at him, and then I just started seeing him shoot. Just sit down.
Patrick's daughter was grazed, and in the panic before he could even react,
everybody running off, and then my son is just sitting there, just crawling, trying to get up. So I got my baby. I had to hop back over the counter, and I'm trying to see what's going on with him. I'm trying to give him CPR and the bullet, and he just got blood coming out his face, and it's just something that a father should never have to go through.
What no one should ever endure.
Every time I get ready to lay down, I'm like laying over my son while he's sitting there breathing, trying to breathe. Every day he would tell me, "Dad, I love you. Dad, I appreciate you." Every night, every morning. Every night, every morning, that boy would tell me he loved me.
A loving boy, a gentle soul, a life taken, and a community shaken.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, what I find to be very, very interesting about the coverage of this horrific incident is the fact that, yes, the mainstream liberal media, they're talking about this, but notice how they're not really talking about gun control, right? When you understand that, hey, this occurred in California, Stockton, California. California, one of the states with, the toughest gun control laws. We were told that gun control is supposed to stop this, right? Turns out that criminals can still get access to guns and firearms despite so-called strict gun control, right? That gun control does not stop stuff like this from happening. But what does stop stuff like this from happening is locking up criminals, is being tough on crime, which is not something I can really say the Democrats are good at in California, especially a place like Stockton that, historically speaking, has been known for violence, crime, gang-related activities. Yeah, Democrats are not doing a good job at cracking down on crime in this city. And that brings me to this interview featuring the mayor of Stockton, Miss Christina Fugazi. And they're going to talk about this shooting. And I want you guys just to notice and to pick up on how they talk about the suspect, right? Or put it this way, the lack of discussion about the suspect, even though the suspect is currently on the run. And that's the reason why they're freaking out, right? Democrats are freaking out about this because apparently the suspect is still out there, okay? After essentially shooting up children at a party, which is an evil thing to do, right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
Well, meantime, a horrific scene in Central California over the weekend. A gunman opening fire at a birthday party in the city of Stockton, killing 4 people, including 3 children, and hurting almost a dozen others in what law enforcement is now calling a targeted attack. And the suspect in this deadly shooting is still on the run. So I'd like to welcome in now the mayor of Stockton, California, Christina Fugazi, as her community attempts to grapple with this tragedy. Mayor, thank you so much for giving us some of your time today. First, what is the latest on the investigation? What can you share?
I can share that law enforcement is actively seeking the individual responsible or individuals responsible for the shooting that happened on Saturday.
I know earlier you actually broke down. You became very emotional, understandably, because this is such a tragic situation. At this point, are you able to provide any further information on names of the victims or ages of the victims, since we know 3 of them who were killed are children?
Yes, so 8 years old, 9, 14, and then there was a 21-year-old. The ages ranged from 8 years to 34 years of age, and there were 15 individuals that were struck by gunfire.
And I know that this event where this shooting happened was a birthday party, I believe, for a toddler, for a 2-year-old. Investigators are saying that this was a targeted attack. There's no threat right now to the community, but you know, as you just said there, we know that the killer is still on the loose. Are you confident that the community is, in fact, safe?
I am confident, but again, our first order of business is making sure that we get these individuals off the street. People out there know. You know, if you see something, say something, and we need people to do the right thing and come forward, because if anyone is helping them, just know that there are consequences for those individuals as well, because you are harboring child killers.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing that really annoys me about this, right? Let's look at the description here, right, of the shooter, which they barely talk about. If you have an active manhunt for a shooter, you're talking about somebody that committed a mass shooting at a child's birthday party, okay? Shot and killed multiple children indiscriminately. Shooter remains at large, described by witnesses as a lone gunman, 5'6", wearing black pants. That's basically useless. That's useless. Why is it that the mayor, the news, why are they not describing what the gunman looked like? What did he actually look like? Seriously. Apparently, there were a ton of people at this party. You talk about possibly hundreds of witnesses, and nobody knows what he looked like? We can't get a description outside of 5'6", wearing black pants. Now, the gunman can't change his height, but he can change his pants. He probably has already changed his pants by now. So I'm not sure how useful this is. And the thing is, they know. They know what the gunman looks like. They know his description, but they don't want to put it out there because it doesn't fit the narrative. And that's the part about this that really annoys me. How can you say that you're trying to keep the public safe, or that you're confident that you're going to catch this guy and that the public is safe, when you can't even tell us what the suspect looked like? What did this shooter look like? I watched a ton of clips on this, and apparently nobody knows what he looked like. The news media won't say, nobody won't say what the shooter looked like. But yet he's on the run. And I'm trying to figure out how in the world can the public be aware of a possibly dangerous person if the news media and the Democrats refuse to tell people what the gunman looked like. It's stuff like this that really frustrates, because if/when this guy is caught, I guarantee you there is a high chance, a very high chance, that he's not going to fit the narrative. Not the narrative that the mainstream liberal media wants to put out there. Like I told you, they're not even talking about the gun control thing because, again, California, very strict gun control, right? Hey, that didn't stop this from happening. Criminals still get access to firearms. Look what happened as a result. So, you know, I just find it fascinating how we're not getting a description of the suspect who's still on the run.
People to do the right thing and come forward, because if anyone is helping them, just know that there are consequences for those individuals as well, because you are harboring child killers.
And Mayor, we know right now there is a reward that's being offered. Is it likely that that will increase? Right now it's at $25,000. Is that going to increase if an arrest isn't made quickly?
A number of individuals have reached out to myself and to Crime Stoppers wanting to contribute to the effort. You know, people are money motivated and it's the holidays. And so we are hoping that we have somebody out there within the goodness of their heart, of course, but if not, you know, if the money is what gets them to come forward, so be it. We just want to make sure that we get these people off the street, that they are tried, convicted, held accountable, and put away so that they never see the light of day again.
Absolutely. Because again, to reiterate, this was a 2-year-old's birthday party where this shooter, this person or persons opened fire. We know, Mayor, that your community has truly been left reeling. What is your message to your constituents today?
Well, specifically to our families, I want them to know that we love you, we grieve with you, and we will not stop fighting until justice is done. I also want to thank, you know, our first responders, our police officers, firefighters, paramedics. They did a phenomenal job running in when there was danger. And I just want to paint a picture for people, just so they deeply understand what was going on. There were balloons. They were singing happy birthday, cutting the cake, laughing. And then the very next minute, individuals came in and they were running for their lives. This should not happen to any child, any adult, at any celebration ever. But I want the public to know that our law enforcement agencies are working hard. Our sheriff, one of the best in the nation, he is out there. He is getting his team. They are doing the work necessary, but we need a little help from the public. So we'd love for the public to please come forward, go to Crime Stoppers, StocktonCrimeStoppers.org, drop a tip there or call. We need your help.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, it would be nice if Democrats could humble themselves and ask the Trump administration for help as well, too. Right? It'd be nice if Democrats could say, hey, you know, Mr. President, we need help cracking down on crime in our cities. Crime is out of control. Crime is not down in our cities. Admit the truth. Gangs are running these cities into the ground. Stuff like this is happening as a result. And work with the president in order to stop crime. That would be nice. That would be nice. But instead, Democrats try to pretend as if stuff like this doesn't happen. That, oh, well, no, everything is safe. It's amazing in all of these liberal cities, right? It's just a right-wing conspiracy theory. I don't understand why these gangs aren't labeled as domestic terrorists. They should be, because this was domestic terrorism. But Democrats want to worry about everything except the people who are actually committing the crimes. They want to worry about white supremacy. They want to worry about, you know, Trump and, you know, all this stuff. But they don't want to crack down on what is actually killing folks and costing children their lives that is happening in these liberal cities. And stories like this are so commonplace. They're so commonplace. And there's always a common denominator. A few common denominators, to be honest with you. But the main one being city or state run by Democrats. So, with that being said, my thoughts and prayers are with the victims and the families. And yeah, I'm hoping that this is a wake-up call to Democrats that, hey, there's a problem. There's a huge gang problem in a lot of these cities, particularly in these blue states like California, is out of control. And again, it would be nice if Democrats would work with the president, work with the federal government to crack down on gang violence and crime. But first, they would have to actually acknowledge that it's a real problem. And until then, you know, stuff like this, unfortunately, you're going to get more of it, right? You're going to have more stories like this because Democrats haven't acknowledged the reality that their cities are out of control when it comes to crime. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.